I feel that there was a tikkun here tonight, because that's what I felt. I was sitting up the back most of the time, and I could feel the special silence that happens when there is something else going on. And, you know, when Anais died, the community did not honor that death, and they didn't make a space for it, as you heard. And we now, with this reading, did, all of us together. We made a tikkun of that. And Penny, you have done the most wonderful, wonderful thing in Anis's memory. And the tikkun will go on with each performance. It's something that will grow.
I also want to say something that people ask, why did I do it in Israel? Well, it was because Gabi asked me. I came to visit last August, and having had so much negativity, and that when she said, I want to do this, I said yes. And I go towards yes energy, and that is why we're sitting here today. So thank you, Gabi. And she is so funny. Such fun. Thank you.
So I know that we all felt this when we were working on the piece, but I'm sure Penny would like to just hear from you. Rotem, because I want the audience to speak now. Anybody who wants to say anything, just as a reaction to the performance, because I know Penny wants to take this on and to perform it more, to perform it in the States. So, anything.
I just want to say it's very much needed in America, because we are really relegated, pushed underground. And so it's a very, very important piece of theatre. And so I want to know what works and what didn't work, and so that I can fix it. Develop. Yes.
Don't be shy. You can be the first one to ask.
It's so beyond what works and what doesn't work. It's just impossible to go into that space with you after what you've brought us here. It can't possibly be on that level, because I said to you, and I apologize for saying that. I said it was devastating. And it's a devastating piece. But it's like I'm drawn into the space of mourning with you. And together with that, after saying that it's devastating, it's magnificent. But I can't say magnificent first, because on something like that, how can you say magnificent? But it's like an incredible piece. The writing and the honesty of the writing and your acting, and everyone that was here. Everyone here's acting was amazing. I don't know how many times I've seen Gabi acting. It must be. I must be the person in the world that's seen Gabi acting the most in the world. And you kind of pushed her up to the sky, because of the level of your acting, the level of the piece.
And she was a treat.
Reaching up to the sky.
It's just.
Thank you.
yeah, I think that one is aware that there's a tikkun, that there's a tikkun in the piece that, you know, you're taking, as an audience, you're taking, it's like we have to take on that, I don't know, that guilt in a way. It's like that shit, or the cleaning of it, or something. So it's not an easy process for the audience. But that doesn't mean it's amazing. And it's also not easy because you're so naked, and it's that, you know, how often do you get to see things where there's something so real and yet raised up artistically.
Thank you, Ruti. Thank you. Mai.
I feel like I came across a conversation today on Facebook that discussed guilt versus cheshbon nefesh, and I think in the Jewish culture, that's it's a differentiation that needs to be made, because very often we take on guilt as a weight, but it doesn't necessarily leave room to breathe inside that. And I think that's why we're often very afraid to talk about complex issues, because it loses the grace, and it loses the opportunity to grow and learn. And I think this is an invitation to do a cheshbon nefesh. I think it's not about guilt. Like it is about finding, it is about discussing who's responsible. But I think that as a community, we can all be pulled into the space, like you said, and think where can we take responsibility for similar situations in our lives. I mean, we're in Israel. We're in a situation now where we're a day after conclusions were publicized about a case that happened a few months ago,
Right.
where 10 children were killed for no reason. And I read those conclusions today, and it's horrifying, really. And I think that, I mean, really, if every one of us thinks back, we can all think of situations where we didn't speak up, or about somebody else, or about ourselves even. We endangered somebody else, or we endangered ourselves because we were tired, because we were afraid, because we were in a imbalance of power, because of various reasons that are completely understandable. But the thing is that it's okay to not speak up until it's not okay. And then somebody pays for it.
And thank you, Maya, because that's actually why where I am with it now, one of the big impulses for writing it, because we all, I think the most dangerous people are enablers, and we all have that inside ourselves. Are we going to speak up or we not? And I can tell you, when you do speak up, you're going to get flack, you're going to get hate letters, you're going to be hated. But, you know, as you see, you know, people knew for years. And so what you're saying is absolutely connects to my heart and my reason for doing this, because of, I think this is, you know, if I take it just into America, you know, if you take, for example, the Parkland shooting, you know, when the 17 kids were shot in Parkland, you know, it's the institution's fault, you know, where this young crazy kid, where did he manage to get the guns from? Everybody knew he had guns, you know, they knew he was going to do it. And so 17 others die because somebody doesn't say something. And that's why I'm also doing it, because
I think it's also a question of empathy. I think
Yeah.
it's also a question of when things happen. And again, it's not judging. I think that when people turn away and they're too afraid to contain such a dark situation, to which you brought so much humor, and I'm really thankful for the writing and for the portrayal, because it had to have humor, because life isn't only, and neither is death. So, but I think that I have empathy for people who turn away and shy away and walk away. I understand that. But I think that when you bring a piece of art like this, you're saying, I know this is scary, but we're all in this together, and we all go through these things. And it's easier when it's a community, and it's easier when it's not shoved down, and it's open to air, and it's open to discussion, and it's an invitation to look at these hard things and break them down a bit. And you were all incredibly moving, and I think it's also the kind of piece of art that needs a discussion panel after, and I think it's a piece of theatre that I think we'll all take home and like we need to sleep on it, and we need to think about it. It's not something that goes through a whole process during the time that you perform it. It's something that we need to live with.
There are two, Michael, and then over here, Mike.
Actually, when it was over, I had to sit down. I thought I was gonna faint. For a few reasons. One is I didn't know it was you, Penny, who you don't remember me, but I remember you and your family from many years ago. But the subject matter, and for me, the protest art, yes, or the protest, that didn't have as big an impact on me. The guilt, the accusations, the call for justice. Last week I helped bury a 20-year-old boy because he had cancer in his brain and he died. Mistakes were made and misdiagnosed, and he ended up dying. And this is such a brave, amazing, moving tribute to your daughter, and to you and your daughter. And like, for me, that's what you've done. If it helps do a tikkun, what the tikkun might be, I don't know, but the tikkun is in your heart. And that is so brave. So I when I read about coming here, I had no idea that the mother was actually going to be on stage playing herself. I mean, that's like, oh my God, how do you do that? How can you do that? So,
Thank you.
And now over here. You, yes.
I wanted to say that speak of a performance and an audience, but I very much felt myself as a witness, more than as an audience, as a witness to a very profound ritual. I just want to say this was my experience. I've never experienced that in a theatre before.
May I follow on? I read that it was Penny performing herself as a mother, but I didn't expect it to be the sort of experience it was. It wasn't just theatre. It was something else. It was testimony. And I really, now reflecting, I don't know if anybody else could do it. And we, as Maya said, we need the conversation afterwards with you as part of this whole experience. You asked what was worked best. First of all, I think the relationship between you and Adi you as the real Mother Adias playing the daughter is fantastic. There is something in that relationship that was just inspiring. It's almost as though you channeled your character in such a way that I felt that the relationship was real. I think all four of you were absolutely remarkable. What worked for me were the moments of music and dancing in the middle. They were exactly right in terms of breaking the tension. The tree at the end, the surprise with this, was fantastic. And because I'm come with, I don't know you personally in any way whatsoever, so I can perhaps speak a little bit critically if I can give you two things that I think work less well. I think the very opening lines are not as strong as the closing lines at the end, and I think those very, very opening lines could be drawn more to that at the end when he spoke about the circle of life. I think that's what needs to be at the beginning as well, to make the circle. And the other thing is the incredible thing about the glass plate that hits you on the forehead, whatever. In a way, I think it was spoilt a bit by us hearing from the medium too much. In other words, if that had happened and we hadn't seen the medium, I think it would have been stronger. I'm talking purely from drama. I'm not talking about recording your life and your experience, but
Just by the way, that she did throw that dish at me.
I believed it. I believed everything you said. So I'm just thinking in terms of the drama.
Okay.
I think those very opening lines are not as strong as the rest of the play, and I think that you should reconsider whether you want to give away by seeing the medium. You sort of give away the power of that incident.
I want to say part two what I said, no, because you helped me to formulate. For me, it was, as I've already said, a very profound experience, and I would have liked to have had a few minutes with nothing happening at the end. Just to the audience to sit even in almost darkness. It was very abrupt, the transition to talking, and that there's coffee, and then some of you coming here and talking, and I needed to, maybe it's just me, but I have the feeling it would be appropriate to just stay with it a few minutes.
Yes.
In my synagogue, we're trying to work out how you deal with death and dying, and what do you do when somebody's died, and how do you celebrate it, what do you do? And each one does it in a different way. And I felt, other than shouting out about why did this happen, but I thought it was such a celebration of your daughter's life.
Yeah.
And it was so honest, because so often when somebody has died, you tell all the nice things that happen. And to be open, I felt I knew her. And I felt really sad that she wasn't here to be and to meet. We met her through you. But I thought it was so beautiful. And I also thought that maybe it is a way of a closure for you, to also to be able to enjoy the beautiful moments that you had with your daughter.
Thank you.
I also just want to say when I walked into, I came a time, just before, I've been here twice in the last few months, and as soon as I walked in and saw Adi, I just knew. And when she read the first few lines, she immediately had picked up Anaisa's thought pattern. So I just knew. And it was incredibly easy to work with her, and very easy. I also want to say if it's a strange thing maybe, it's easier for me to act this because of my training than for me to talk too much about Anais. To tell you the truth, I can own, and Denise, you most probably also lost a child suddenly and violently. I can only let in about that much for a few minutes, and then it's too much. So in a way, but all this writing, it's been 5 years, came out of the, And there was a lot of material, and had
lot.
to go through. I mean, this was 2.5 hours long in America. But Gabi said no.
I just want to say that it was Maya asked me outside, how did I manage to get that thing, that thought pattern? And what I said was that the writing, it was just in the writing, the pace and the thoughts and everything, how vivacious her character is in the writing. So you made my job very easy. And I just had to go with the words.
Well, a lot of it was Anaisa's writing.
Yeah.
The part of About Me, that was, she wrote that when she was 19, and we found it in her computer. And if you think about it, how many people say, and almost die? That's one of, and she did almost die. I mean, and all the nature things that Adi speaks were not written by me, they were written by Anais. In the last 6 months of her life, when she was an environmental studies student and she was in ecstasy in nature and sitting for hours and hours in the heat, drawing, and also the thing was, actually, Shirley, you taught her when she suddenly was like, not doing ballet anymore, and she wants to be an artist. Shirley, who's my aunt, who is an artist, happened to be there, and she taught Anais to draw her hand, and then she did the ballet point, and she got in. But that pedophile teacher, actually, also I do have to say, because I'm not American, when she came and she says, Mama, my art teacher's a pedophile. I didn't run straight to the principal because I know her. I knew it was, some rubbish. So, but he taught her to draw. She drew nature. We couldn't show it at the back here, but she drew intricate details, just everything. And what is so sad is she had become my teacher at that point because, she really did take me down that bloody mountain. I mean, it was like, I don't like being in the wind on the cold. So, but she just picked it up,
Being a mother that's also lost a child, I think that what Penny has said and what all of you have shown us tonight and what Penny and I have tried to do is to celebrate the lives of our children and not to be treated as a subculture. And I think it's very important. Somebody here spoke about a discussion in the synagogue on how to handle and deal with death and people who've lost a family member. And the important thing to remember, which I think Penny has also brought to the forefront, is that as mothers who've lost our children, the last thing in the world we want is for our child to be forgotten. And we don't want people to steer away from us and be scared to mention our children's names to us. We love it when memories are brought up. We love to celebrate their lives, to commemorate their lives and what they meant to us. And I think it's a very important message to get out into the different communities, that people should know that if they don't know what to say, a hug is good.
Thank you. A hug is good. I think that's a good time to finish. Yes.
I was astonished at the beauty of your writing and the depth that you brought to your acting. I thought that hubris was absolutely incredible, and the funny parts, as somebody else mentioned, were it felt like we were on a different, as my daughter-in-law would say, a different sounds. How do you say tether?
Vibration.
Wavelength, on a different way. It went onto a different wavelength. That's what I felt about it.
And the
Okay,
video,
compliment
the
to-
video at the end.
Yeah.
Wow.
A quick, I'm not clear if this was a theatrical choice for tonight, or if you plan to develop this into a larger cast. I wasn't sure what the choice was, but I love this size cast, because I think that when you're in a place of tragedy, there's the mother, there's the daughter, there's the tree, and then there's everyone else. And that's where people are in a place of tragedy, that everyone else, the teacher, who cares who I was talking to, and it's all one lump of people, because all there is the mother, the daughter, and the tree. And so I really liked that theatrical choice, whether it was for tonight or in general.
Well, this
I
is
thought
something
it worked.
to
I
think
thought it
about.
worked so well.
That's to think about going on. When I wrote it for 3 women, because older women, don't get a lot of roles. So we didn't have David, but I actually think that I like having the male role.
And him playing everything.
Yes,
It was
which
just,
he did.
it was so interesting, and just
He did
switching
beautifully,
between characters.
And I think that, it's theatrical.
It was.
And so we want to see theatre like that. I don't know, I mean,
It was interesting. It was a very interesting choice.
Thank you. I mean, the intention now is to take it, that I don't produce it anymore, that I take it to somebody and say, look, and I'm willing to hear your thoughts later on and afterwards, that I take it to somebody, because I've got a couple of people who have expressed interest, and then they take it. But I like what you've said, to bear that in mind, because who needs Hamilton, great big cast,
Exactly.
I would suggest approaching at least the Reform, the Conservative, and to try, because I think synagogues are trying to deal with
I'll talk to you privately about that.
Thank you very much.